Hello watch lovers! Now, as soon as you put on that very first watch, then boom! Whoa, looks like you're officially a watch collector. Welcome! But let's be serious for a second, because the watch collecting journey is full of tough choices. You may need that rugged sports watch that can take a beating without breaking a sweat. And from time to time you may also need a showstopper, an elegant dress watch reserved for those big, memorable moments. But what about the in-between? The perfect watch that radiates style and sophistication, feels just right on your wrist, and works for any occasion. Today I'm bringing you 10 incredible watches you will actually wear. Watches that check all the boxes: attainability, durability, and wearability. These are timeless pieces with versatile designs that you can dress up, dress down, and actually enjoy. And best of all, they come at a variety of price points, from £800 to £8,000. So hopefully there's something here for everyone. Let's get into it. So here we have the Hans Wilsdorf love child of Rolex dependability and accessible price points. It's Tudor, and this here is their main attraction, the Black Bay. Specifically the Black Bay GMT. So if you're looking for a sporty runaround with iconic looks and the added functionality of a GMT hand, then look no further. With an anodized aluminium bezel bearing the iconic colours similar to the branding of the second most popular cola drink, Pepsi, yep, and a white dial, it's a winning combination. Now I say white dial, the dial isn't quite white, it's an off-white opaline dial. So it's a lovely shimmery silver colour with a soft pearly appearance. Quite like a really nice smooth white pebble that you might find on the beach, you know, a real keeper. Right in the pocket that goes. Anyway, the hour marker surrounds have been darkened slightly to a deep grey for increased legibility against the opaline, and you've got 3 snowflaked tipped hands on the hour, second and red GMT hand. The minute hand is just normal. There's the manufacturer caliber MT5652 inside, and it's all wrapped up in a sturdy 41mm steel case. It's a really vibrant, fun watch that's hard to beat for the money, which by the way is £3,870 new or £2,925 pre-owned. Now, from the Evolution 9 collection, this is the Grand Seiko White Birch. With its multifaceted case and streamlined long lugs in stainless steel, it's 40mm and it wears really comfortably, and the watch bears a lustrous quality that's modern and sporty and yet finessed. And then there's the nature-inspired dial, of course, a portrayal of a white birch forest, along with the deeply gratifying sweep of the spring drive second hand and the superior finish across the hands and markers. Now, you'll quite often hear myself and other Grand Seiko devotees like me banging on about the quality of the finish found on their watches, what with their Zaratsu polishing techniques that produce flawless mirror surfaces and all that. Well, here you can see on the reflective surface of the minute hand, the reflection of the 1 hour index reflecting the second hand. It's like reflection inception going on inside this dial, so that's a pretty clear indication of how good the finishing is. So if you want a watch that's versatile enough for any situation, but rich with stunning details for you to pore over for a worrying amount of time when no one is around, then a Grand Seiko is the watch for you. This spring drive white birch costs £8,500 new or £7,500 pre-owned. Here we have a chronograph from Tag Heuer's Carrera collection, this time with a stunning green sunray dial. Now the dial is brimming with textures and surface finishes, and the light shimmers across the sunburst dial and subdials and glints majestically off the brightly polished hands and indexes, while the bulbous crystal creates some awesome distortion, like a Boss FZ2 pedal or something. This is a retro-inspired watch, so it features vintage proportions and case shape. Although perhaps slightly bigger than the 60 style racing watch on which it's based, this watch comes in at 39mm, so it's very wearable. It's sharp and stylish, and the tealy green dial gives it an air of class. There's also a tidy little movement going off inside the in-house Heuer 02 with its crisp Geneva striping, skeletonized rotor weight and green accents on the text and the column wheel. Now, while there's plenty of Carreras to choose from, this one is limited to just 500 pieces and it's discontinued, so it's extra special. It will cost you around £5,150 pre-owned. Now it's time for Tissot. Which Tissot, you ask? Well, the only one that anybody cares about, of course. The PRX. Power. Resilience. X. This is the chronograph variation of the wildly popular PRX, featuring a sweet Daytona-style panda dial type dealio with tri-sub-dial layout on a vertically brushed silvered surface with gold-coloured hands. This is one stylish watch, but at 42mm, its boxy 70s style case is unforgiving of dainty wrists. You can, however, pick up the PRX in a less unwieldy 35mm case if you're willing to forego the chronograph functionality. But what the Tissot PRX lacks in ergonomics, it makes up for in bold, unflinchingly rigid good looks. It's sleek and sporty and great for any occasion. It's got 100 metres of water resistance, there's a Valjoux calibre inside, and it costs £1,695 new or around £900 pre-owned. Next we have a sporty sea watch from Breitling, the Superocean Automatic 42. With lots of colour options available, this is a cohesive combo of white and bold navy blue. It feels fresh and airy and it wears well on the wrist. The 42mm case is broad for sure, but it's relatively slim, so it doesn't feel imposing. And as you can see on my 16.5cm wrist, you don't need Invicta-proof arms to enjoy this particular Breitling. Now, this model comes on a dark blue rubber strap with a ceramic inlaid bezel and a dial that's big and bold with blocky white cubes making up the hands and hour markers. Despite all that though, it feels light and spacious and even gives way to an understated touch of washed out orange on the second-hand tip and Superocean logo. It's a self-winder with the caliber Breitling 17 inside and water resistant to 300 metres for all your swim, surf and dive needs, as well as being sand and shock resistant. So this thing's got beach bar written all over it. Well, not written all over it literally, but I think it's written on there somewhere, maybe on the back, below where it says Swiss chronometer, I think. But in lieu of a luau, this would also be great for any formal occasion too, so if you fancy a vibrant and versatile Breitling, then this Superocean 42 costs £4,400 new or around £3,000 pre-owned. This is the Oris Aquis. Now, when I got my hands on this watch, I was really impressed by the dial. The hands and markers are radiant and really shine, that they almost glow in the light and really stand out against the strong blue sunburst on which they're applied. Away from the dial, you can see it's quite chunky with a 42mm diameter, but due to the roundness of the case, it's not ponderous and it feels quite compact on the wrist. Other chunky details, however, include a brawny notched bezel and powerful thick lugs. The sapphire caseback reveals the in-house caliber 400 with its frosty bead-blasted bridges and brushed rotor weight with a whopping 120 hours of power reserve. It's an awesomely stylish watch, whether you're rocking it in the urban jungle or the deep blue sea. But really, coolest of all, it conveys a rich premium feel way beyond its price point of around £2,000 pre-owned. This is the Hamilton Khaki Field Titanium Auto with its 60s military inspired appearance and durable build quality. It makes for a perfect casual daily wear. In 38mm in a sturdy titanium case, it's lightweight and comfortable, and there's a lot of attractive characteristics. The titanium of the case is brushed, which gives it a soft luster, and the dial is chock-a-block with information, displaying hours, 24 hours, and minutes/seconds. The grooved inner ring and concentric circle layout of the dial, high contrast numerals and pops of orange keep it legible though, and overall it's a handsome watch that's perfect for outdoor adventure. And the rugged good looks continue around the back with the H10 automatic movement visible and features a brushed and stylised rotor weight for automatic winding. Lovely stuff. The RRP of this watch is £920, but pre-owned it's more like £850. This is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra 150 meters. Now, the Aqua Terra is the perfect all-rounder model, with a sophisticated aesthetic that foregoes some of the more functional characteristics you might find on a traditional dive watch. So you're getting an ultra-stylish timepiece with an ocean spirit, perfect for drinks on the pier, and if you have too many and fall off the end, then it's got 150 meters water resistance, so peace of mind there. In a 41mm stainless steel, you get a sleek, symmetrical case with a crisp white dial, blackened hands and markers, and the famous dial surface modelled after the decks of luxury yachts. You know the ones, we've all got one. In the latest iteration, the water resistance wording has been removed from the dial, making it feel simpler and cleaner. And consequently, it takes less time to read the dial now whenever you need to check the time. There's a cool wavy conical crown and case back too, and the watch boasts one of Omega's juicy master chronometer calibers, this time the 8900M, which is METAS certified. Brand new, this watch costs around £6,000. Pre-owned though, you can find them for around £4,000. The familiar white on black of IWC's famous pilot's watch is one way to go, but if you really want to knock 'em all bandy, then how about some green sunburst? This is the IWC pilot's watch Mark XX. Now, an IWC pilot's watch makes for a great go anywhere, do anything watch due to its functional, purist design and robust construction. Here we have a stainless steel case with a diameter of 40mm with clear white numerals and indices and rhodium plated hands. Inside is the IWC manufactured 32111 caliber, and this is a classic watch. It's nice and compact, really wearable, really stylish, and thanks to the full-on cockpit inspired functionality, its pared back design makes it really versatile. But meanwhile, the green sunburst dial gives it a nice little touch of pizzazz. The Mark XX new costs around £5,000, but pre-owned it's around £4,000. Now, before we get to the final watch, which is an absolute doozy by the way, did you know you can find out about other amazing watches via our Watchfinder newsletter? To get exclusive access to new arrivals, be the first to hear about all our special offers and promotions, and to get first dibs on our giveaways, just head down to the link in the description to sign up. Next, we have a decisive tool for explorers who push back the boundary of knowledge. Not my words, the words of Rolex. And this is their Explorer II, with its 24-hour hand and bezel for keeping track of day and night while exploring regions where natural time markers disappear. You know, those environments you frequently find yourself in that are constantly dark, like caves or polar regions where the sun doesn't rise or set. Actually, it's the same watch Josh Hartnett wore in vampire flick 30 Days of Night, probably. Set in Alaska, but entirely shot in New Zealand. Anyway, despite being one of the more marginal models in Rolex's catalogue, the Explorer II is still a highly desirable piece. But if you go for an older model, pre-owned, you can save yourself a couple of grand and still get something undisputedly cool and undisputedly Rolex. Now, the older version Explorer II is largely the same, and this 16570 gets a polar white dial, large black hour markers in simple shapes, you get a date window under the unanimously adored magnifying blob, you get a thin red triangle-tipped 24-hour hand as opposed to the big orange arrow hand of the latest model, and you get a case that is 2mm smaller than the current model as well, at a more universally wearable 40mm. Optimum legibility in all conditions, it's the ideal ally when uncovering the mysteries of the Earth. Again, not my words, the words of Rolex. £8,550 new or £6,500 pre-owned. So there you go, those were 10 watches you can wear and enjoy forever and ever. And I hope you enjoyed this rundown, and if you want more amazing watches, then why not head over to watchfinder.com and browse hundreds of timepieces from all the best brands and find your next pre-owned luxury watch. Check it out, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.